Imagine a concert pianist who has practiced a piece thousands of times perfectly in private. But now, with a live, expectant audience watching them, their hands tremble and hover, completely frozen over the keys. This is performance anxiety. It is a documented physiological response that can drain 20 to 30% of a person's capability in an instant, or leave them entirely paralyzed with fear. But consider what is actually happening. Did those countless hours of rehearsal and hard-earned muscle memory suddenly evaporate the second they stepped onto the stage? Obviously not. Yet when we experience these moments of freezing in our own lives, we tend to internalize the failure. We tell ourselves we are incompetent or that we lack talent. We mistake a temporary failure of execution for a permanent character flaw. As long as we believe the problem is our identity, we remain trapped in a cycle where overcoming the obstacle feels impossible. Neuro-linguistic Programming, or NLP, offers a different way to look at this problem. It studies exactly how we construct our internal worlds and attach meaning to our experiences. This approach suggests we should stop viewing failure as a lack of talent. It proposes that there are no unresourceful people, only unresourceful states of mind. Your underlying skills, your deep intelligence, and your talent never vanish. They simply become inaccessible when your emotional state shifts into a restrictive mode. Untangling who you are from how you feel is the first step toward regaining control. Once you realize you aren't the anxiety, you can begin to access your hidden potential again. NLP defines a state as a linked system of your thoughts, feelings, and physical energy in a continuous loop. In a resourceful state, your perspective turns outward, accessing internal tools. Conversely, an unresourceful state contracts your internal loop, leaving you feeling powerless. This restriction often triggers a compounding psychological trap known as a meta-state. This occurs when you experience a secondary emotion about your primary emotion. For example, you might feel anxious about a presentation. Then you realize you're anxious and you feel intense shame or anger at yourself because you are nervous. By stacking negative emotions on top of each other, you build a mental barrier. It blinds highly competent people to their own resources. Breaking this cycle doesn't require a forced sense of cheerfulness. It requires recognizing that you have a mechanical choice to interrupt the loop. The first intervention is your physiology. Because mind and body form one system, moving your physical body automatically forces a shift in your mental state. This involves deliberate actions like relaxing the muscles in your jaw and neck and shifting your gaze upward to expand your peripheral vision, countering the narrow downward focus produced by anxiety. The second intervention is anchoring. This technique allows you to borrow a resourceful emotional state from your past and bring it into the present. An anchor uses a deliberate external stimulus, like a specific touch, triggering a specific positive internal response during a crisis. It utilizes the same pathways that allow a specific smell to instantly transport you back to a childhood memory. The difference is that you are manufacturing the trigger on purpose. By intentionally shifting your posture and using these sensory anchors, you can dismantle an unresourceful state in real time. These tools won't banish negative emotions from your life forever. Experiencing stress is an undeniable part of the human experience. But this framework shows that human potential is not a fixed quantity. Your current limitations are not your identity. History shows that perceived human limits are often just state-based barriers. Consider the quest for the 4-minute mile. For decades, it was considered physically impossible for a human to run a mile in under 4 minutes. That changed the moment Roger Bannister crossed the finish line in 1954, proving the limitation was mental and allowing others to follow. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," use one final linguistic tool. Simply add the word "yet" to the end of the thought. When you feel paralyzed, you are not broken.